Overtime. Sponsored by Wendy's. They got you for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and everything in between. High school sports, we've got it covered. Overtime starts now.
Hello and welcome to Overtime, our weekly look at high school sports in the state line. I'm Scott Leber.
And I'm David Greenberg. Once again, we have 30 minutes full of high school sports coverage for you. We'll show you how the Harlem competitive cheerleading squad is preparing for a season that could look a lot different than the normal due to COVID-19. And we'll get to know a pair of girls golfers on the Rockford co-op team.
In our Glory Days segment, we'll look back at the 2005 state champion Aquin Bulldogs football team, plus your school spirit photos and Week 8 in our Battle of the Stadiums contest. Right now, let's get into some highlights from this past week, and it was the biggest week of the season for high school golfers.
Absolutely it was. We start with last Saturday in the NIC 10 Conference Boys Golf Tournament. It was cold and rainy outside, so not the most ideal conditions, but these guys battled. Starting it off here was the E-Rab's Ben Bache. He had a solid round and was able to show off a little magic in between holes. He finished with a two-day total of 157, good for 5th place. Guilford's Connor Knuth finished 1 spot and 3 strokes ahead of Bache with a total of 154. That was good for 4th place. Boylan came away with 2 of the top 3 thanks to Nolan Bronze and Cooper Watt. Bronze took home 3rd place, and Watt, a sophomore, took home 1st place by an 8-stroke margin. Watt finished with a 2-day total of 144, with Bronze shooting a 153. So Boylan took the team championship with Guilford finishing 2nd, Hononegah 3rd, and East 4th. Again, Cooper Watt of Boylan is the individual conference champion.
High school golfers got their wish a few weeks ago when the IHSA decided to allow regional and sectional play. Those regionals played out this week. This is the girls' 1A regional at Prairie View and Byron on Wednesday. We'll pick it up with Winnebago's sophomore Kira Simon. She finished 3rd in the Big Northern Conference tournament last week. She sinks this birdie putt on the 4th hole. Simon shot an 83 to lead Winnebago to a 2nd place finish. Boylan sophomore Ella Greenberg won the NIC 10 tournament last week. Here she is for birdie on the 3rd hole. Yes, sir. Greenberg was the medalist. She shot a 75. Ella's sister Eva Greenberg was 4th in the NIC 10 tournament. We pick her up on the 10th hole. And we go to the 10th green now, where she has a long putt for birdie. Check this out. She was right on with this. So close. She had the 3rd best score of the day in 81. The Greenbergs led Boylan to the team championship. Rockford Christian's Emily Neller had the 2nd best individual score, a 79, so she advances to sectionals. At the 2A Sterling Regional, the Rockford Co-op and Harlem girls took the top 2 spots to advance to sectionals. KSI Lynn of Guilford led Rockford with a 77. The medalist was Harlem senior Brighton Young. She tore it up with a 1 under par 71.
Tuesday, there was boys regional golf in Rockford over at Elliott, a Class 3A tournament hosted by East. Connor Knuth of Guilford got things going for the 10-15 pairing, walking this tee shot off. At the 9th green here, he polished this one up for a par on his way to a round of 81. Guilford finished with 4 of the top 10 golfers, helping the Vikings take 2nd, 1 stroke behind Hononegah. Auburn's Alex Ferry was on his A-game for a strong 5-hole stretch. Here's what got him going. On the green at the 9th, he takes a beautiful stroke and buries this one from downtown. His round of 78 was good for 3rd place. Harlem's Zach Burfoot was tremendous on the back 9, thanks in part to his trusty putter. Here at the 11th, he reads this downhill putt to perfection and gets the roll. He finished tied for 1st with DeKalb's Brett Paglow and ended up losing in a 1-hole playoff. So Hononegah and Guilford, the top 2 teams, advance to Monday's sectional at Aldine. Now let's head to Byron for Class 1A regional action. Tuesday at Prairie View Golf Club. Colin Ellsbury of Rockford Christian didn't have his best round. He'll admit that. He struggled at times with driving consistency, which had an impact on his day. He did, however, help the Royal Lions come away with 5th place in the team standings. The host Byron Tigers came away with 2nd place in the team standings thanks to this talented young man, Mason Brandt. He's only a freshman. Age is but a number, and Brandt's numbers were really good. He shot a 78. That was the 2nd best score of the day. Elgin Academy won the team championship, so Elgin and Byron advanced to the Peru St. Bede sectional next Wednesday. In Class 1A, Dakota won the regional golf tournament at Pearl City. The Indians were led by Ian Peterson's 3rd place finish and Ethan Rude's 5th place finish. Dakota heads to the Peru St. Bede sectional next Wednesday as well. Eastland junior Andy Anderson was the medalist at the Pearl City Regional.
At the 2A Marengo Regional, Boylan settled for third place behind Crystal Lake South and Peoria Ridge. So the Titans just missed out on advancing to sectionals as a team, but Nolan Bronze and Cooper Watt will be there competing as individuals. So will Belvedere North's Alex Sippy. No local teams advanced out of the 2A Sterling Regional, but 3 Stillman Valley golfers advanced. Chad Garrick, who we spotlighted here last week, Stillman Valley's quarterback, plus Tim Markham and Griffin Smits. Freeport's Ethan Eilders also advances to sectionals. For girls cross country action, we go to the Fuller Forest Preserve. Last Saturday, Winnebago hosted Lutheran, Stockton, and Durham-Pecatonica. As usual, the Winnebago girls ran away with this meet, and as usual, senior Natalia Martino led the way. Nobody was near her at the finish. Winnebago sophomore Grace Erb took second place. The boys' meet at Fuller Forest Preserve featured the same schools, Winnebago, Durham-Pecatonica, Lutheran, and Stockton. As they blazed through the trails, it became clear this was going to be a much tighter finish than the girls' race was. Down the stretch, it was Stockton junior Connor Vincent who was able to hold off Lutheran's Chris Kellogg for the individual championship. Leon Hammond of Durham-Pecatonica came in third place, leading Durham-Pecatonica to the team championship with 24 points. Bago finished second with 49 points. And there was swimming action at Jefferson, the Jayhawk Invitational. Swimmers from 9 schools were represented Saturday, but they kept the number of people in the pool area under 40 throughout the event. This is the 100-yard breaststroke, and Byron's Haley Goring just edged out Guilford's Ella Gasparini for the win. The next event, the 50-yard butterfly, had some talented swimmers. Byron's Audrey Kilmer and Hononegah's Elena Kitzman were 2 of them. It was a tight finish. Kitzman on the right just nipped Kilmer for the victory. Byron won the team championship. Hononegah finished second and Guilford took third.
Coming up next, we'll check out some of your school spirit photos. Plus, we'll catch up with one local competitive cheerleading squad that's hoping for a big season despite dealing with COVID-19 safety protocols.
And later in our Glory Days segment, we'll reflect on an Aquin Bulldogs football team that was #1 in the state in 2005. You're watching Overtime. Welcome back. It's time to check out some more of your school spirit photos.
Moments in time from the good old days, which might have been years ago or simply last year. We begin with this photo from last fall. That's Winnebago quarterback Zach Johnson rolling right to make a pass.
This next photo is also from last year. It's Harlem receiver Jared Jacobson stretching out to make a great catch. That's catch radius there. That was in a game at Boylan.
This is Winnebago's girls cross country team. That photo was taken last fall right after the girls won the state championship. They've got their medals, they've got the big trophy, and there's lots of smiles on those faces.
Our final photo is Hononegah wrestler Anthony Cassiope. This is from 2018, the night he won the state heavyweight championship in Champaign, waving to family and friends at the end of the match. We want to see your school spirit photos. They can be from the past year or decades ago. They can be from any sport or simply you dressed up as a fan in your high school hoodie or with your face painted.
Email those to sports@fox39.com. That's sports@fox39.com. And be sure to include your name and a brief description of the photo.
Well, high school athletes and coaches are doing their best to adapt to the changes in their sports brought on by COVID-19.
Yeah, no question. The sport of competitive cheerleading typically involves a lot of contact. But this fall, cheerleading squads are adapting to safety protocols that are transforming their sport in a really big way. I visited Harlem's practice this past week to see how they're doing and coping with the changes.
5, 6, 7, 8.
Hey, you rock for Harlem. Hi.
Welcome to Harlem High School.
You rock, Harlem, Harlem. You rock, Harlem, Harlem. Yay, Harlem.
Normally, this time of year, the varsity cheer team would be preparing for their first meet.
Down! Last one!
But as a result of the IHSA's decision to push back higher contact sports like cheerleading,
8, get into lines to tumble.
everyone, including senior captain Madeline Wisbrocker, is having to make some adjustments.
But not having a whole season is kind of, it's different.
Nick 10 fans in the stands, let's hear you shout it out. Yo, go, go.
Even though it's different, they are still excited to be back together.
Win. Nick 10 fans, yo, go, fight, win.
It feels good because I do school all online, so it feels really nice to get out of the house and get back with the team and be able to do stuff.
Just last season, this Harlem Husky cheer squad went to the state tournament, led by their head coach, Rebecca Doxtater.
Last year we had, I think, 11 four-year seniors, and they had qualified for state every year of their varsity career. So that was really important to us to have all of these seniors who had been there been on the team for so long, put so much time and dedication and energy into it, and then having them qualify for state for that 4th consecutive year was really important to me, and I think important to them as well.
After the way last season ended, it's safe to say everyone on the team was eager to run it back.
I look back at my team Twitter all the time, and just look at like all the posts of, I can't wait till open gym, I can't wait to see my favorite people, I miss them so much. Like the day state ends, you're like, oh, I can't wait to get back out there, I can't wait to see what my team can do this year.
Taking extra safety precautions this season brings with it a whole new set of challenges for cheerleaders.
We have to wear masks and we have to be 6 feet apart.
We had to start practice way later than normal. We weren't able to start till like July. We were only able to have 2, and we couldn't start till this month, September.
We have certain contact days that we can be together, and we have to be distanced.
We were able to have 1 open gym for tryouts, and then that was it, and we weren't able to get back with each other for, I think it was like 5 months.
But the biggest change from 2019 to 2020 was that cheer teams in the state of Illinois are not allowed to stunt.
And if we are able to stunt, it's going to be kind of hard to get back into the swing of things, and it's really hard to get back into shape and stuff, but it's getting easier.
This is stunting, and this is why it makes cheerleading such a high-contact sport by the IHSA. Despite their ability to physically stay close, these teammates are making sure their friendships are as sharp as their routines.
We definitely communicate outside of cheer, just so we can have fun at practice while still taking precautions.
Pandemic or no pandemic, these teammates all know they've got each other's back.
We're very persistent, and we're always there for each other, and we always push each other to do the best that we can.
This is the fall contact period when cheer squads are allowed to practice. Full practices are scheduled to begin in mid-November.
Yeah, those kids are eager to compete. We wish them well.
Coming up shortly, it's week 8 in our Battle of the Stadiums competition.
And next in our Glory Days segment, we turn back the clock to 2005 and the year the Aquin Bulldogs won a nail-biter for a state football championship. There's not a smaller school in Illinois that's achieved such great success as Freeport-Aquin has in football. Despite enrollments totaling barely over 100, Aquin has won 3 state championships in football. This week in our Glory Days segment, we look back at the 2005 state champion Bulldogs. They played Cambridge for the 1A title in Champaign. Both teams were 12-1 going into the game. The Bulldogs had great balance on offense. Matt Marini had rushed for more than 1,600 yards with 27 touchdowns going into the championship game. And Adam Jelinek had passed for more than 2,800 yards with 38 touchdowns. But Cambridge was Aquin's offensive equal in this game. Jelinek connected with his main receiving threat, Drew Harwiger, for a 23-yard touchdown in the first quarter, but at halftime the Bulldogs trailed 22-14. The third quarter was where the Bulldogs made up ground, outscoring Cambridge 16-6. Marini rushed for a pair of short touchdowns, giving him 3 for the game. Aquin led 30-28 after the third quarter. The fourth quarter was a scoreless standoff. With 3:44 to play, Cambridge had a chance to take the lead. On a 4th down play, Cambridge lofted a pass to the end zone, but Nick Amadeo there just got a hand in there to break it up. A huge play. The Aquin Bulldogs hung on to win the state championship. They won 30-28. Joining us now on the phone is Matt Marini, the running back who scored 3 touchdowns in that game. He also played linebacker. Now, Matt, I want to start with that Cambridge pass there that was broken up in the end zone late in the game. That play could have gone either way. Fortunately, your guy made the big play. Describe what you saw and what you were feeling when Cambridge fired that ball towards the end zone.
Where I was, I think I was covering somebody, so it was hard to see what was happening, but I just remember seeing the ball fall incomplete and then our guys celebrating the end zone and just feeling a sense of relief, you know.
The final score was 30-26. Did you go into that game expecting it to be an offensive game?
We went into every game kind of expecting to put up a lot of points ourselves. I don't think we really prepared for it to be a shootout or wanted it to be a shootout by any means. But every game we always knew that if we executed, we could put points up on the board. So
I love the balance you guys had that season with you running the ball and Jelinek passing it. Did you guys strive for that balance, or were you simply taking what defenses were giving you that season and in that championship game?
Yeah, definitely. I think we kind of just took what they gave us. But coming into that year, we were more known as a running team, but when you've got the best quarterback wide receiver combo to come out of that school, it's a lot easier to throw the ball. So,
could anyone cover Drew Harwiger that season? Because it seemed like he was always getting open.
No, I mean, he was a special talent. That kid was probably one of the best wide receivers in the state at the time, playing in the smallest school in the playoffs. A lot of people don't know this, but Drew walked on at U of I and was a D1 athlete, and unfortunately got some injuries and things didn't go as far as he wanted. But there was a lot of kids that they had a hard time keeping up with him.
We have video of you guys celebrating on the field in Champaign. What's that feeling like to reach that ultimate goal?
It's just a really great feeling of accomplishment. Like I said, I was really fortunate to go to school with a great group of guys that really knew what it took to come together for a common greater goal, and that's the best I can describe it. Just an overwhelming sense of accomplishment and pride, just knowing all the work and hours and sweat and what we put into it. To end out on top is just the icing on the cake.
Our thanks to Matt Marini for joining us to reflect on that great Aquin team. Coming up next, David Greenberg has another wide array of questions for two of the Nick 10's best golfers in our Getting to Know You segment. Right now, it's time for our overtime trivia question. What former Winnebago quarterback once passed for 510 yards in a single playoff game? What former Winnebago quarterback once passed for 510 yards in a single playoff game? Well, the answer after the break.
Once again, here's our overtime trivia question. What former Winnebago quarterback once passed for 510 yards in a single playoff game?
The answer is Brandon Walgeman. In a playoff game in 2003 against Stillman Valley, he passed for 510 yards and he completed a state record 41 passes, but Bago lost to Stillman. Walgeman had a rifle for an arm. Well, it's time to get to know two more of our local athletes.
This week, I'm joined by two talented golfers from the Rockford girls co-op team.
No, not off the top of my head.
I think I just started something, but I don't remember.
I want to go to Sweden.
Sweden?
Yeah.
Why Sweden?
I don't know. It's just always like someplace like pretty far away. Like it just like sounds like it has a lot of like cool attractions.
Right. What about you? Where would you want to go on your dream vacation?
Probably Europe.
Okay.
Hit as many places in Europe as I could.
That's definitely, I would love to do that. That'd be so
Tour
awesome.
Europe, yeah. I guess I can ride a unicycle. I guess that's pretty cool.
That's so cool. How did you learn to ride a unicycle?
I learned to juggle first, and then I was just kind of like, well, why not? Might as well.
So can you juggle while on a unicycle?
Kind of, not very well. It's difficult. I don't know.
That's so
impressive. I can
impressive.
for a little bit, and then I usually drop the ball or hit a bump or something.
That is so impressive. All right, can you top juggling on a unicycle?
No, I think I can only do like a cartwheel. Yeah. Oh, there's like, I'm more of like a sweets person.
A sweets person?
Yeah,
Okay.
so like any type of dessert, like brownies.
Brownies?
Or like cheesecake, yeah.
All right. Does one of your parents make really good desserts?
No, they usually don't make dessert. No. I'm usually the one that has to make them,
Really?
and I eat them on my own.
Okay, yeah, so my mom, she's the baker in the family, so she makes the really good. Like, she makes the brownies and the banana breads and all those stuff.
I've rewatched The Vampire Diaries like twice.
All right.
Yeah.
So is that one of your favorite shows?
Yeah.
All right. Do you have a favorite movie?
The Greatest Showman.
Greatest Showman?
Yeah.
Good one.
Just listening to the soundtrack the other day. That's awesome. Zac Efron is the man.
Yeah.
What about you? Any show or movie that just sticks out to you that you really like?
I really like Disney, like animated movies.
Okay. Which one? I mean, there's a million. So which one do you like?
I don't know, right now I think my favorite's like Mulan.
Mulan?
The old
Okay.
one.
The old one. I was going to say, aren't they coming out with the new one?
I haven't seen the new one yet.
Right, I haven't either. Mine is probably Lion King, just because that's like, that was
The
my
classic,
childhood,
yeah.
right?
Good stuff. Well, we're in 7 weeks now into our Battle of the Stadiums contest. It's our quest to find your favorite football stadium in the state line.
Last week in the Nick 10, Pretzel Stadium in Freeport got 70% of the votes to beat out Auburn's Wyeth Stadium, and in the NUIC Pecatonica Stadium received 70% of the votes to defeat Stockton's John O'Boyle Field. Almost 500 votes were cast. This week, we wrap up the first round. Here are our final contestants.
Vote for your favorites now or anytime this coming week by going to our website, mystateline.com. Look for the Battle of the Stadiums tab or image.
We'll be right back.
Be sure to join us each Friday night at 11 o'clock on Fox 39 for Overtime. You can also catch the rebroadcast Sunday mornings at 9 on Fox 39. Thanks for joining us.
Enjoy your weekend, everybody.
Overtime. Sponsored by Wendy's. They got you for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and everything in between.